the strongest storm in 3 years, hammering the west coast. This is what an inch of rain every hour can do. Streets are flooding, creeks turned into raging rivers, threatening homes. Strong winds knock down trees and power lines. In the foothills east of Los Angeles, the mud is sliding. More than 1,000 homes have been evacuated. Commuters weren't ready for sheets of rain. 3 feet of water in some spots. Backup stretch 20 miles. Too much water and mud, schools closed, and the Postal Service suspended delivery. The forecast calls for even more rain.
Wicked waves shattering windows in this restaurant. Diners dashing for the door. Storm surges crashing high and hard in Southern California, taking over this pier. Boats pushing ashore, injuring 2 workers after waves sliced into another oceanside restaurant.
This is from Kansas City. Earlier this morning at the airport, you could hardly see anything. The snow coming down hard. And it's not just snow, but snow and ice that we're going to be talking about. A lot of these places will pick up some 6, 7, 8 inches.
It's overnight, that fast-moving storm coating the roads in Oklahoma City with dangerous ice. In Denver, the snow and ice blamed for this huge pileup, killing at least 1 person and injuring more than 20. In Montana, overnight, our first glimpse at the home destroyed by an avalanche that buried 3 people, including an 8-year-old boy. With shovel in hand, neighbors got them out, all 3 now recovering. In Pennsylvania, where they are bracing for up to 1 foot of snow, they are now stockpiling mountains of salt, an additional 20,000 tons after the last storm had them scrambling to find more. Not even the mighty Niagara Falls a match for Mother Nature's biting cold. 60% of the rushing waters frozen.
The Great Lakes are almost completely frozen over. Federal researchers say ice covered 90.5% of the lake's surface as of Sunday. That's one of the highest percentages ever recorded.
Hundreds of ducks are being found dead along Lakes Erie and Ontario. The Department of Environmental Conservation says that the extensive ice cover on the lakes this winter is to blame.
Rolling in over Sydney Harbour, a storm befitting the word menacing, swallowing up the light and creating a dark sky full of rain, interrupted by flashes of lightning. Some residents took to Twitter to call this apocalyptic. But this isn't the end, if you have been listening to the forecasters. They're saying there is more storm potential over the next few days.
What is your understanding of this situation for people in your situation?
Well, not a lot of communication at all.
I mean, driving around the neighbourhood, how would you describe this flooding and the damage that's happened today?
Well, it's the worst I've ever seen it. Yeah. Actually, it's worse than the liquefaction was bad enough, but not like this.
Yeah.
No.
People are saying to me, why aren't you talking about the possibility, and I'm just putting it out there, that something odd happened to this plane, something beyond our understanding. Have you dealt with that on your show, and are you surprised that people are raising those questions?
There is no logical explanation right now, right? You can say, oh, it crashed into the ocean, but something just seems, where are the parts? Where are the pieces? Why did it keep going for 7 hours? Why do you have a guy on board who gives his watch and his ring to his wife and says, keep this for my boys in case something happens to me? And that's not some stranger, he's a mechanical engineer. Something smells wrong, and, you know.
And Constance and Christy, this information is still coming into the Local 10 newsroom, but take a look, you can see the fire burning right there. The Division of Forestry is confirming they're working on this brush fire. It is west of Weston and 5 miles west of US 27, that's in the Florida Everglades. Forestry says that the fire started yesterday, and so far, listen to this, 250 acres have burned. You can see the flames still going strong there.
We don't know much about where the noise came from, but some of you say you heard it.
I heard a really loud boom.
I just heard a rumble.
And I heard a pretty big explosion.
A noise so loud that some of you say it startled you, causing your homes and businesses to shake.
I mean, I actually, like I said, almost expected to see a mushroom cloud when I went out there off in the distance.
But the mystery remains unsolved.
Exclusive video obtained by TV 1055 shows the moment of the blast. A security camera across the street catching it all. On the right here, you can see windows shatter because of the blast. Then here on the left, smoke pours onto the street as the two buildings explode. The ball of energy enough to blow back a man walking on the sidewalk. A different camera angle then shows a cloud of debris and ash filling the street. 2 days after the tragedy, investigators in Con Ed are still looking for the apparent gas leak that caused the explosion.
A pretty significant sinkhole developed today just behind the Moakley Federal Courthouse. You can see how the bricks caved in here a couple feet. Right now there's a fence up around the sinkhole. Of course, a lot for investigators to look at right now. They say no one was hurt.
Russia is a regional power that is threatening some of its immediate neighbors, not out of strength, but out of weakness.
Crimea saw a referendum that took place in line with the democratic procedures and international law. I cannot remember a single situation, single precedent in history when intervention would take place without a single shot.
The death toll in Washington State's massive landslide is up to 29 now. 20 people remain missing. Search teams are using heavy-duty equipment to comb through tons of sludge and debris.
Taking in the latest warnings, one of the deadliest viruses known to man has reached their capital city. With no known cure or vaccine, news of Ebola's spread is striking fear into Conakry's residents.
This is the first time we've had this kind of disease in Guinea, and it's the first time the government has been preoccupied with a disease that doesn't have a cure.
We're in Grand Etang, Nova Scotia. This is home of Les Sweat winds, southeasterlies. They're more easterly right now, gusting about 170 kilometers per hour. You can't quite look the wind in the face because your face gets sandblasted. Done up right now. Whoa. No, we're fine.
The quake did more than rattle nerves. It sent bottles flying off store shelves, mirrors crashing to the ground. It wasn't the big one, but it was big enough. Magnitude 5.1. Its epicenter, south of Los Angeles in Orange County, the OC. This quake comes less than 2 weeks after news anchors ducked for cover during the so-called St. Patrick's Day shaker.
More problems for a troubled
earthquake.
Yep,
We're having an earthquake.
A strong earthquake has struck off northern Chile, triggering a brief evacuation. The magnitude 6.7 quake was centered 60 kilometers off the coast near Iquique. No injuries were reported. Around 100,000 people were evacuated, with most of them heading on foot to nearby hills.